Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to another behind the scenes video. And this one's going to be a little bit different because this is a behind the scenes video for a Minecraft video, but I'm not starting in Minecraft. And that's because I'm doing a behind the scenes video for one of my Stampy shorts. And at the moment, I don't know what the Stampy short is going to be or what it's going to be called, but as you're watching this, it is out. So what I recommend doing is to go and watch the Stampy short first, so there's no spoilers basically, and then come back and you can kind of see exactly how I made it. So there'll be a little thing up here somewhere you can click on, also a link down in the description, as you can go and watch it first, and then we can kind of see how I came up with the idea and how I filmed it. And I'm going to do my best job to show you how I made it. It's a bit tricky because most of the planning just goes on in my head, and I mean, this camera's good, but it can't show what's going on inside of my head. So yeah, hopefully everyone has gone and watched it and come back now. So yeah, let's talk about where I am right now. So at the moment, I have like the seed of an idea. So I don't know the name of any characters yet. I don't know the name of the film. I don't know really many specific jokes. Let me kind of show you what I do have. So basically, I came up with an idea, and all I've done is I've just written it down on my phone just as notes. So this is basically all there is at the moment. I know you can't really read it, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to talk about it anyway. But the idea for the short film is basically just me breaking the fourth wall. And what that means, if you don't know, is basically the characters are going to be aware that they're in a video inside of a video game. So the main joke is the idea that they are characters in a video made inside of a video game. And what does that mean for them? They're gonna realize that everything they're saying has been written in a script, and then the big ending, I guess, is they eventually talk to me. And there's going to be a real life section with me at the end where they're going to go like, well, what do you think about this, Stampy? And I'm going to go, well, it all seems a little bit silly if you ask me. Shut my laptop, and then that's going to be the end. And I'm pretty sure that is going to be the end. That's what I know for sure. I kind of know how it's going to start, but it's really everything else in the middle. So what have I got written down here? So a conversation with a man being in a video game. And so then I got like a few like quotation marks of me working out exactly what they're saying, oh, so I'm a character in a game? No, a video made in a game. And then I read the line, sounds awful, fourth wall breaking rubbish, and then things along those lines. I had the idea of an Easter egg for them talking about a man cutting down a tree in the background, and I was going to use the character I used for my Piggy Wig short, because just as a little bit of an Easter egg. And then they're going to talk about like, oh, what's the quick select bar, you know, what's this menu? And then they're going to show changing it from day and night and kind of gradually realize what they're in. And it's going to basically slope down and get sillier and sillier and sillier. And so this is very different to the last Stampy short I did, which is the one called Good Night, because that one was really just one joke. The entire video was a big long setup, setting the mood for one punchline, and then it ended. You know, it was a very short video. You know, if you didn't get the joke, there's no enjoyment to it. And there's quite a lot of people that didn't get the joke as well, but most people really liked it. This one is less of a singular joke, more of just a setting or a theme where I can tell a lot of jokes in. But now I need to go and actually write the joke. So before I even do anything in Minecraft, the first thing I'm going to do is to write the script, and then I'm going to really develop exactly who these characters are, and then also start thinking about who's going to voice them, whether I can voice them myself or I'm going to have to ask someone else to voice one of the characters. So yeah, let's go over to my script writing program and do, I guess, step number 2.
I've started writing the script now. You can see this is basically all I've written so far. I kind of just want to explain a little bit about how I write scripts and kind of what I use. So you may notice that this looks more like a script, you know, than if I just used Microsoft Word and kind of just wrote it all out. So I'm using something called Celtx, which is like CELTX, and it's not a program you download. It used to be, but now you just do it online. So you make an account, you sign up. It's free to use most things of it. If you just want to write a simple script like I am, it's completely free, and it's very easy to kind of write in this format. You can basically go down like this, and it will like know if you're trying to do a character, and then you can do this and write the dialogue, and it kind of works it all out for you. And then there's a bunch of shortcuts up here in case you're writing action, or you know, the character name, or the dialogue, or like the scene heading. So it's just a really easy way to be able to kind of write a script in this format. You may be wondering, why do you want to use this font and this layout? The reason is, if you do want to actually get into script writing or video making, everyone uses this format. So if you write a script and you send it to someone and you're not using this format, if they're kind of in the industry, then they're not going to really take you seriously unless you're using this format, because everyone knows what to look for, everyone knows how to read it. It's also quite good as well because everyone uses the same font size. It means that it's quite easy to judge how long a film is going to be by how many pages. Like, it roughly works out as every page is about a minute. Obviously, it's different whether there's dialogue or lots of action, but it generally roughly, adds up to that amount. So it gives you a good idea for how long your film's going to be. So this is what I would recommend using. There's a bunch of other programs. This is just what I've been using for the last few years, and it works fine for me. So you can see I've kind of started writing out what we talked about. Like, I already knew what the beginning was going to be. So you can see I don't really have names yet, so I've just called them boss and employee. I also wrote Bobbin because I didn't know what the name's going to be. I don't even know if it's going to be a boy or a girl yet. So basically it goes like... Let's read through it and let's just see how it sounds, because it's always different writing it compared to reading it. So let's do this. Excuse me, Bob, what's going on around here? What do you mean, sir? Well, everything is strange. Look. The employee looks around the room, then back to the boss. In what way is it strange, sir? Well, open your eyes, Bob. Everything is strange. Well, for starters, my computer is actually a giant cube of wall with a painting on it. There's a man outside cutting down trees without them ever falling over, and I can only use my right hand. Well, that all sounds quite normal to me, sir. How is any of this normal? I can't even sit on my chair properly. In fact, I don't even think it's a chair. It looks more like some type of staircase with signs stuck on the side. Well, that's how everyone makes chairs in Minecraft. So that's kind of the setup. And then it's going to go on to the boss saying, well, let's write it out now then, shall we? So to do a character, I do Command 3, and then I'm just going to write down boss. And then he's going to go what is Minecraft? And then this is going to be kind of the point where he's going to explain it's the game we are in. This is probably going to change eventually from the actual film. I'm kind of giving you an example, and then the boss is going to be like, we are in a video game, and then this is kind of the first proper joke, I guess, where the employee says, well, no, we are in a video that is made in a video game, which is the reality. They are a character in a video which is made in a video game, so that's kind of their realization. And then the rest of the film is going to be kind of the boss character sort of saying, well, what type of video game is it? And then they're going to say, well, it's kind of a game where you can go and do what you want. And then he's going to go like, oh, that sounds awful. Like, what a boring video game. No storyline. Like, it's kind of going to be kind of making fun of Minecraft of it, making fun of kind of these types of videos, even though it's a character in it. So the way I write scripts is kind of like you've just seen, is I write it out very quickly and don't spend much time going back over it at first. I just try and get it, finished, like to the end. And then I go back and I tweak it, and I end up with version 1, version 2, version 3 until I'm happy with it. A lot of other people will completely plan everything out before they even start writing. I don't like working that way. I find it easier just to kind of just start writing, and then generally by the time I get to the end, I've then worked out exactly what the characters are and kind of what they're like, and then it makes it easier to go back and change things. But people can kind of do it in whatever styles they want, as long as I know the very beginning and the very end. Like the middle I can kind of fill in on my way. So I'm going to do a little bit more work, try and finish off the script, then I'm going to show you what it's going to look like completely finished. But even then, when I go to film it, I always end up changing things anyway and improvising. So nothing's ever set in stone with this. Right, I've now just finished writing basically the first draft of the script. You can see this is basically how long it is, and I can't actually see how many pages it is, actually. It doesn't really say here, but when I export it as a PDF, I will be able to see. As I've noticed as well down here, is it shows like how long you spent writing and how long you spent thinking as well, which I thought was quite interesting. And you can see I got it written pretty quick, actually. It kind of just flowed pretty easily. So the way I wrote it was I just kind of thought out a conversation in my head and just wrote it down, pretty much what was going on in my head anyway. I haven't even read through it once yet before I started recording, so there's probably a bunch of typos and mistakes in there, as there always is with anything that I write. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. So I kind of changed direction a little bit while writing it. I didn't do as much about the fact that you're inside of a video game very much. Like originally I had the idea of it saying like, look, we are in a video game. You can set it to nighttime, or look at your inventory. Like I tried to think of that, but I realized it kind of took away and distracted from the overall story and the joke, so I kind of stepped away from that. But I did like kind of do quite a funny bit where it basically makes fun of Minecraft a bit and kind of myself and my videos. And let me kind of find that moment because I kind of like that. So yeah, Minecraft. We are both. This entire world is made in Minecraft. I go, well, that explains a lot of the strange things I've been noticing. What type of game is it then? It's an open world sandbox game. You can explore and build and do whatever you like. Well, how do you win? Well, you don't really win, sir. It's more about having fun and being creative. Sounds awful. Why does everything look so blocky? The graphics are terrible. Well, most people think they look charming. I think it looks cheap. It will never be successful if it looks like this. If I'm a character in a video game, then I want to be in the best video game on the market. Well, you're not technically a character in a game, sir. What? You just said I was. What's going on here, Bob? You're a character in a video that's made in a video game. People are making videos in the game? Who would ever watch that? This is getting worse by the minute. How do I get out? That little section there I really quite liked, and I think when people kind of watch that for the first time, that's going to make them laugh. I think that's kind of the point when they really realize what the video is about. And then you can see the ending down here. It goes, that's it. I've had enough. This is all giving me a headache. What do you think about this? Who are you asking? You! Well, do you mean the character me, the voice actor me, or the scriptwriter me? Well, who is the scriptwriter? Stampy. Well, we better ask him then. Stampy, what do you think about all of this? And that's when it cuts to real life me, and then I'm just going to go, well, what do I think about it? I think it all sounds rather silly if you ask me. And then I shut the laptop, and then that's when the music and the credits are going to come in. So obviously there's more here. So what I'm going to do now is I basically go back through, sort out any typos, see if there's any more jokes I can think of. But mainly I kind of just cut bits out now. So it's very easy to write a very long script. But it's very difficult to write a short script because it's easy just to keep writing, but you often end up with a lot of filler, a lot of lines and words that don't need to be there, which just slow down the pace. And I want it to be quite a quick, fast-paced film. So I'm basically going to go back through, cut down anything that isn't necessary, but then the next step is going to be moving over to the Xbox and actually building the set, which is obviously quite good fun. I'm just building kind of a generic-looking office, and I just need a window to see outside to the trees. It's going to be a very simple, almost bland build, but that's because the focus isn't really on that. You know, the idea is it's supposed to be as if someone tried to make a real life office is the idea. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to be moving over to the Xbox once I've kind of tightened this up. And then yeah, we're almost actually ready to start filming. Okay, I've moved on to the Xbox now, which is where I record all of these. I'm also very strict about only recording these on console as well, just because I really like the limitations you have on console. Like on PC, with all the mods, there's like so much more that you can do. But for these, I kind of like the challenge of being very restricted. Like, it's hard to tell a story when the characters have no facial expressions. You're limited to what characters can look like, and then they can only really walk, stand, and punch. You know, there's no other real movements you can do. So that's the reason why I kind of stick to this and don't want to move into animations, just because I enjoy that. I enjoy that challenge. Like, as soon as you have more options, it's not as fun of a challenge for me to make these videos. But anyway, this is where I've decided to build. So this is the start of my office here. I might end up changing it. I kind of kept switching between having it as a wooden building or a brick one. I went for brick just because I find bricks a bit more boring and I really want the set to be pretty boring. But then I was thinking that it's the boss's office is kind of the idea, and would it be wood? But you know what? I think kind of having it as a little brick building in the middle of nowhere is kind of funny because the whole thing's quite surreal and weird. So the idea of it just kind of being this one little tiny building's okay. And you're never really going to see the outside properly. Like, you're never going to see the building from the outside. So I don't need to worry about that. All I need is like one doorway here, and then like a corridor leading like this, kind of like that somehow. So when the character enters, when you look through the door, you're not going to see nothing there. But apart from that, I only really need to worry about the inside. I do need a window near the desk, so we can have the scene I said about where you look out the window and see someone cutting down the tree. So that's the only reason it mattered why I built in an actual world, because otherwise I'd have just used a super flat. But I think this is a pretty nice area. You can look out the window, you can't see much, but you're just going to see a man cutting down the trees. And this is actually the the world I've filmed a few of these in. This is also the world I did the Life of a Piece of Dirt video. You may recognize this. That's from the Life of a Piece of Dirt, and I could probably find the field that I actually filmed like the actual dirt in. Like it's probably still actually the dirt's probably still down here if I remember. And oh yeah, I filmed the Good Night video here as well. So this is the set for that video. It looks very different in the daytime when it's not raining, and this totally does work, by the way. If you haven't seen that film, definitely go and check that out, because this might kind of spoil a little bit about what it is. But the sheep contraption 100% works. It doesn't work every single time. Sometimes if the sheep don't cooperate, it doesn't work quite as well as other times. But you can see it basically goes and poor sheep. It basically launches the sheep up and then across to land in here, and then the sheep make their way to the end there, and they get lifted up, and it basically does a circle. I did kind of trick a little bit in the video. I edited it to make it look like it flung the sheeps faster than it actually does. But apart from that, it does properly work. And if you do end up with a build-up like this, sometimes the sheep can go all over the place. So let's see whether this is going to work. There we go. It still worked perfectly, and it loops around. But you can see here, this is another set. Like these windows, there's nothing there. It's just black wall. And then the inside is, as I said, kind of just like a corridor, but it doesn't lead to anywhere. The actual inside of the building's completely empty, just because it doesn't matter. If the camera's not going to see there, then it doesn't actually make any sense to go and properly, build it up any more than I need to. So let's see if I can find the dirt. I thought it was in this field here, but maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not entirely sure where it is then. But anyway, let's go back to the the film at hand. It really isn't going to take any time to build. I just need to do the roof and then like the floor and add a desk in. And there's not really any other props that I need. I need to make sure I have the computer and then the chairs in the way I spoke about. But apart from that, it really just needs to be one tiny room. So I'm going to get the rest of this built. And then the next thing to do is to go and start acting it out. So it's going to be me being the camera. So the way I film it is I simply go like this. So I'm basically the camera now. And then I have Squishy, who's always very helpful in these videos, basically acting out the other characters, which basically means her standing here nodding one and then nodding the other. And she does control both of them at the same time as well, which she is getting very good at. And I am going to film a little bit of that when we're actually making it. So yeah, that's going to be the next thing you're going to see in this behind the scenes video. My office is finished now. You can see I left it pretty simple. There's the desk here. The desk is a bit of a weird shape just to fit the computer on. Like I tried having the desk 2 blocks, but it made like the shot too wide, so I made it smaller. Added a bookcase. You can see there's windows. I know, yeah, you can see the trees outside. Like a bunch of them are floating, just to kind of make that joke better. We won't worry about the person cutting down the tree. We can kind of do that as a cutaway a little bit later on. So this one's going to be really easy to film because some of them are more difficult because there's a lot of kind of different action going on. This one's basically just a conversation. So it's mainly just going to involve Squishy, who is controlling the characters, kind of coming in, standing here and just nodding. That's basically what it's going to be. Then I'm going to get like close shots like this. I'm going to get like a wide shot like that, like a really wide one here of kind of the entire office. If I was doing a more complicated one, I'd write out a whole shot list. That's what I did with the Good Night episode and like the Piggy Wig. I would know exactly what I was filming and make a list and kind of just go through it. I don't really need to do that with this one, to be honest, because it's pretty simple. I just need, I just know the kind of key shots I want. And yeah, these are the skins we decided on, by the way. That is probably one of the limitations that I don't like, is the fact that I can't have the characters look what I want them to look like. And, there's some characters that they simply don't have. And a lot of the characters are like characters from Star Wars or The Simpsons and things. And I don't want that. I kind of want more original characters. Like even this character is a character from a video game called Half-Life. So that's one of the things I don't like. Bless you, Squishy. Right then, let's get starting filming then. So I don't know what the very opening shot is. I often end up filming that last, but let's kind of just film some of the main shots. So Squishy, if you kind of come in as the lady. Oh yeah, Squishy's going to be voicing the lady character as well, by the way. And I'm going to be voicing this character in the final one. So let's kind of pick your mark. And what that is basically where she's going to always default stand to. So I reckon it should be about here, almost directly opposite, like in the middle of the block, one away from him. Let's see how that looks. Maybe go like, maybe step on the line between those 2 blocks. Go slightly further back. If that makes sense. Yeah, so like a tiny tad back. Yeah, if you kind of remember that position, that looks quite good with this angle. So let's kind of just start off with you walking into that position. And then what I can need to do now is just look at the script and kind of see who speaks first. So the boss, whatever his name ends up being, he kind of speaks first, and then you walk in and reply. So let's go and have the Bob character walk in and just start nodding. That is you going, well, how do you mean, sir? And right, so now basically what I need to do, let's just reframe this slightly, is I basically just need Squishy to alternate nodding the two characters. So she's going to start one character nodding for a bunch, and then the other one's going to nod. And then what I do, so if you make the Bob character just look down a little bit, because at the moment she's kind of staring at the ceiling while he's talking. So basically she'll alternate them nodding, and then when I'm editing it, I'll just find sections where it kind of links up nicely to what they're saying. But then there will be a few specific parts in the script where, you know, one of the characters gets angry and I might make him jump. And then obviously there's the part where he points out the computer or out the window. And so I'll do those moments separately, but mainly it's kind of just me filming this nodding a whole bunch. So yeah, I'm going to get most of the shots done, and then I'll carry on when we're about to kind of finish off and do the final and opening shots. Right, we've pretty much finished filming everything. I had to fill my inventory with a bunch of stuff because we did the shot with the character cutting down the tree, and I kept accidentally picking up the blocks and it looked weird. There's also a mistake with that, by the way. If you spot this, you'll see the character cuts down the tree, but then the tree actually reappears complete again, just because we kind of filmed it in the wrong order and I didn't remember it, and I could go back and change it and refilm it, but it's just not worth it. So yeah, you might see people commenting about that, but I did realize it's just a little Easter egg. There we go. That's what it was, all done on purpose. That's what I'm going to say, but I'm actually gonna rebuild it now because we're ready to film the opening and the final shot. So because we're going to do the opening first, I want the tree to be there as it was at the start. And yeah, I've had the idea for how it's going to start, and I want just a really big close-up of the boss character. So I'm actually going to destroy the desk because they can't see it anyway, and I'm going to be right in his face like that and have him speaking. I also didn't mention the fact that there's a big opening here, and you might think, why did I destroy this wall? The reason for that is because, one, to add more light in, just because it adds light in. Also, I'm never going to see this side. Generally, most scenes are all filmed from one side. Like, if I have one character on the right and the other on the left, and then I suddenly went this way around and they had switched, it just looks weird. So that's the reason why I only kind of filmed it from this one angle. And then the fence is just here to stop animals wandering into the set, which was happening. So anyway, let's go and film the opening shot. So I'm going to get right as close as I can be, like this. If you look up a second, let me just make sure your head's not going to get cut off. There we go. That's about as close as I can be, and I can even zoom in a little bit more when I edit. I can kind of zoom in a little bit, and it will look okay. And so this is you going, "Excuse me, Bob, what's going on around here?" So I'll say it, Squishy, and you kind of just nod along with me. So if you start off looking directly forward, like straight, so look down more. You're kind of looking up a little bit on my screen, so look down even more. And now your head is getting cut off a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, then if you look a little bit to your right as well. So something that happens on Xbox is what the characters look like isn't the same on everyone's screen, like the position their body is in. So sometimes you have to really explain kind of exactly how to stand because it just looks different for everyone. Anyway, so 3, 2, 1. "Excuse me, Bob, what's going on around here?" Yeah, so if you just do that like a couple more times, Squishy, you can kind of just guess the timing. So this is going to be the opening shot. So the first thing anyone's going to see, there's going to be no fade in or anything. It's just going to be a huge shot of this man's face and him saying that, which I think is going to be a pretty attention-grabbing and funny opening for the film. And then the only other shot we need is Bob entering. I want a better shot of that. And what you normally do to start a scene is to have something called an establishing shot. And basically all that is a shot that shows the entire room, basically. It kind of show, or whatever area they're in, just so everyone can kind of see what the space is and the layout, and it just kind of makes it nicer, I guess, when you're watching the rest. So this is going to be the establishing shot of kind of Bob entering. So what we'll do, Squishy, is if you nod as the boss again, and then quickly switch to Bob walking in, and as you're approaching, you can have Bob starting to speak, and all she says is, how do you mean, sir? Okay?
Okay.
Right, so 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, the table's wrong. I've done the wrong blocks on the table. Okay.
Continuity, Bob. Okay.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hey, Bob, what's going on around here?
Then... Oh, so you need to shut the door as well, sorry, as you come in, because the door's been shut. So yeah, when people say continuity, that's basically if something changed. So say if one of the paintings in the background was slightly moved and people notice it and it looks wrong, that's called like a continuity error. So
The tree being
yeah, the tree is a continuity error that I know about but can't be bothered to change. Right, 3, 2, 1, action. So come in, shut the door. As you're walking, start speaking, and then end in your position. Perfect. I don't think there's any reason to do that again. Like, normally I do most shots twice, but that was so simple and so easy, and now I can kind of cut into whatever I want. That's no problem. There is one other shot which I kind of want just to get in general. I haven't got a kind of a high angle shot. I realize I kind of skipped that. So if you just do make Bob stand slightly to her left, just sidestep to the left. They call it crabbing to the left, if you ever hear someone say that. And now line up the body. Look at that. So you see how she lined up the body perfectly? Squishy's done this a lot. Now I just do a little bit of back and forth nodding just because I didn't get this shot, and it's just, seen as the entire thing is just set in one location, I kind of want some decent shot variety so it doesn't get too boring. And then the other thing I need to do after this is just the final shot, which is when they're basically speaking to me. And the way I'm going to do that is to have both characters basically look up to the ceiling and basically be like shouting to the heavens to me, which I think is going to be kind of quite a funny final shot in terms of the Minecraft. Of course, the very final shot is going to be me in real life, and we're going to have to film that in a little bit as well, with me just looking at my laptop. So that should be enough of that. I don't even know if I'm even going to use that shot, but I thought it might look quite interesting. So if you have both characters just look directly up now, and then I can kind of frame it up. So, okay, so you want the boss character to not look completely up, but almost up. So the keep Bob looking straight up, and then have the boss looking slightly even further down than that. Yeah, like that, but then you're going to be nodding. That looks pretty good there, though. So it's going to be the boss going, we better ask Stampy then. What do you think about all of this? So I'm going to have the boss looking forward, nodding, going, we better ask Stampy. And then when it says, Stampy, what do you think about this? That's when you both look up and the boss talks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3... Yeah, I know. So Squishy's controlling both, so it's going to be difficult. And you need them both to look up at the same time. So good luck. Right, so 3, 2, 1. Well, we better ask Stampy then. Stampy, what do you think about all of this?
I did it wrong, sorry.
Well, tell you what, seeing as this is a static shot, I'm going to go in the other room, and I'm going to go and control the other character, so we can both do them at the same time. Well, hopefully that looked good. I couldn't see it because I was in the other room, but I can go back and watch it now. But that should basically be a wrap in terms of the in Minecraft scenes, as far as I can think. Like, sometimes we forget things and have to go back and record something else. But now I just need to film the final bit with real life me. Then, of course, we need to record all of the dialogue and make sure that all fits in perfectly. It's kind of funny because one of the reasons why I wanted to do these behind the scenes is to kind of show you how much work goes into it and how much time it takes. But we've got this done really quick. Like, this has all been done in just one day, and I wrote the script in, I don't know, about half an hour, and then we've filmed this in, I don't know, probably about 40 minutes or something. So this is going quicker than usual. It has been quite an easy one to do so far, but let's kind of record the dialogue and start adding that into the footage and kind of see, you know, whether it is actually funny or not, because that's the important thing. I have just about finished editing the film. I have a name as well, and I know that you already knew the name because it's in the title of this video, but I've only just now come up with the name myself, and it is Rather Silly. So that's what the actual video is going to be called. And I'm always happy once I finally come up with the name. Sometimes I start the video, with the title. Sometimes I kind of just work it out through it. And the reason I'm calling it that is because that's kind of what that's kind of like the last thing I say, I guess. But yeah, this is what the project looks like. So I edit with Adobe Premiere. I've used different things in the past, but at the moment, this is my favorite software to use. You don't need like a professional program to edit. Like if you just got like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, like that works fine. Like there's nothing that I do in this that you couldn't do otherwise. It's a good tool. It's not too difficult to learn. Just watch a bunch of tutorials online if you don't know how to use it. But yeah, it's a very simple edit, to be honest. Everything has been very simple on this video. This is all of the dialogue. This is the audio down here. I just split it into different colors for each different character. I did a little bit of mixing, kind of putting the values up and down, but that was pretty simple. The video is kind of just pushed straight in at the moment. I am going to do a little bit of color correction, and what I mean by that is basically adjusting some of the colors and the kind of the brightness to make it look better. Like I normally do this to either just brighten a video or darken it if it doesn't look okay, but you can also do it to add effects. So if you look at the good night video, you'll see that I basically turned the saturation down. I think I turned it like all the way down to 40, and what that does is it basically takes away a lot of the colors. So you can see that is kind of what it looked like in the good night video, just because I was trying to make it look dark and moody. But then if I was doing a very bright comedy like this, I'm going to boost it up. So I'm going to put it to like maybe 135, and you now see that there's a lot more color. And that's actually what I do with my Lovely World and some of my other series, is I actually really brighten up a lot of the colors compared to what they normally look like. And you kind of see the difference there if I switch back and forth. It's quite slight, but it just makes the whole thing seem a little bit more colorful. So you can kind of see the difference there compared to like some of the other shots when I've added a bit more color. So I'm going to go through in more detail and do that. Also, I recorded the final live action section, this bit, but the audio is not very good. Like at first I did it with my proper big camera and microphone, but it just looked too professional. Like I kind of set it up kind of like a Let's Talk video, and it looked too good. And so I kind of wanted it to look more live and natural. So I like doing it with a handheld camera, just kind of at the table. But if you listen to the audio, I don't know how well you can hear it. It doesn't sound that great.
Stampy, what do you think about all of this? What do I think? Well, I think it's all rather silly.
So that's the ending, and I like the ending. I think that's a good ending. I like the way just the music kind of just cuts in. I kind of do that at the end of a lot of them, but I don't like the audio, so I don't need to re-record it. What I can actually do is record myself just with my good microphone that I'm using now, going, that's rather silly, and you'll be amazed how easily it is to match it up, and people have no idea that I wasn't even saying it live. They do that all the time with actual films, where they won't even record dialogue a lot of the time in like an action scene or something, and they just go back when editing and like re-record it all again, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, this is the video edited. I am thinking of possibly in the future kind of doing standalone videos to teach very specific things, so I can get more in depth and kind of talk more about like the framing and why I choose which shot where and things like that. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Oh yeah, one other thing, music. I added in some music, and the music I chose was Minecraft music. I spent a long time trying to think about the music, what to add, and in the end I was like, this whole film is about the fact that they're inside the game. I need to have the game music. And like, I really kind of wish that I did add a line about like, oh, what's that music, or something. Could have been quite funny. So yeah, I added in Minecraft music, and then the music at the end is just something that I got off a royalty-free music website. If you are getting music, I really recommend not getting the free music if you can. There's a lot of really cheap music you can get, which is only like a few pounds or a few dollars, but if it's something you have to pay for, it means that less people are using it. If you use the free music, there's a chance that loads of people are using the song, which I don't think's as good. So that's something that I'd recommend there. But yeah, that's the video edited. So once I've gone and done the color correction and kind of checked through it a few times, I'm going to go file, I'm going to go to export, and then that's going to be the video done, and I'm going to upload it to YouTube. So that's pretty much the entire process. This has all been done in one day, by the way, so I normally don't get one done this quick. Normally they actually take a lot longer than this and are more difficult, but today has been a very smooth day, and things have kind of just gone quickly. And just because it's kind of just two people talking, actually recording the video was very quick. But yeah, hopefully you got a good idea of what kind of goes behind one of these Stampy shorts. As always, let me know if you've got any questions down below. But apart from that, expect more behind the scenes videos on this channel soon. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!